Hey guys, it's me, Jayzo, and this is part 3 of What If Naruto Had the 10 Tails, was half Hyuga and half Uchiha. So, a little recap for the last part. Naruto and for at least the end of the last part. Naruto, Hinata, and Kakashi and Jiraiya all went searching for Tsunade since the third Hokage was going to retire. And Hinata and Naruto are in the same room. Kakashi is with Jiraiya doing his research. And so they're there, and Itachi and Kisame knock on the door. That's where we ended off last. So now, as for this part, Naruto feels like something is wrong, hands Hinata a kunai, and tells her to quietly throw it outside. And she does so. And then they're both ready to fight. So what happens is Naruto opens the door and Hinata's ready to attack. They see Itachi there, and so they start fighting. But since Sasuke was never injured and brought to this hotel, he never met Itachi here. So you don't hear Itachi and Sasuke getting genjutsu'd. Kakashi also didn't get genjutsu'd since he wasn't in the village at the time that Itachi and Kisame were. And so now they start fighting. Naruto fights Itachi and Hinata fights Kisame. Hinata's actually doing pretty good since Samehada, even though Samehada absorbs chakra, she can just, she also knows how to put her lightning chakra all around her body, so she can kick somebody with lightning chakra, palm them, and whenever she's about to hit, she could put lightning chakra in the place where the actual damage is going to come out of, if that makes sense. So, against Samehada, what she would do was, or Kisame with Samehada, she would hit a couple times but not put chakra in a lot of the attacks so that it doesn't, take the chakra away. And as for Naruto, since he's half Uchiha, and he's basically immune to genjutsu. So right now Itachi and Naruto are just having a genjutsu battle, which isn't going in any one person's direction, considering genjutsu doesn't work on either of them. And so Naruto is going all out, using more and more of the 10 Tails chakra, and Itachi's starting to get overwhelmed. And so that's whenever Itachi shows off his Sharingan, because up until that point he hadn't been using his Mangekyo Sharingan. And so Naruto does the same. He equips his Sharingan, although his is just the 3 Tomoe and not the Mangekyo. So now what he does is he just starts bombarding Itachi with attacks, just to the point where Itachi's flies back just a little bit, and that's when Naruto takes that as a chance to put his hand on Hinata's shoulder and teleport out to the kunai that Hinata threw out the window. And so they start running away, and they see Jiraiya and Kakashi coming, as well as Guy. They're all there. And by the time they make it back into the hotel, Itachi and Kisame are already gone. So basically, no genjutsu for Kakashi, no genjutsu for Sasuke. Everybody is fine so far. And the next day, the 4 of them, Kakashi, Jiraiya, Hinata, and Naruto, all go to a restaurant to eat, and they see Tsunade. Jiraiya tells Tsunade that he's been looking for her, and that the 3rd Hokage wants her to be the 5th Hokage, since he's about to retire. And Tsunade, being Tsunade, still badmouths the Hokage, which gets, Naruto mad. saying that the Hokage protect the village and do all this stuff, and so it should be an honor to be the Hokage. And so she says, I can beat both you and Hinata at the same time with one hand. And so they accept. And so, yeah. Naruto and Hinata go outside. And Tsunade is ready to fight Hinata and Naruto. Well, not really. Because she's heavily underestimating them. And so Naruto throws a kunai past to the left side of her head, puts his hand on Hinata, and whenever the kunai gets behind Tsunade, they teleport to the kunai, which then leads Hinata to put lightning in her air palm, and which kind of paralyzes Tsunade and sends her flying. And then as soon as that happens, Naruto does his Magma Rasengan and ends up throwing it at Tsunade. It hits Tsunade, and Tsunade gets a little bit of a burn, and so she starts trying harder. And by the time that she gets back to them and starts trying to attack them, she uses her whole arm. And that's when Naruto dodges it and says, well, you lose because you just use your arm and you said you were just going to use your hand. And so since that happened, Tsunade, that whole fight between Jiraiya, Orochimaru, Naruto, Tsunade, and Kabuto never happened because Tsunade had already been going to the leaf before it could have happened. And so, yeah, that happens. And while they're going back to the village, and whenever they get to the village, Tsunade becomes Hokage. And at this point, since that thing between Itachi and Sasuke never happened, Sasuke was never really mad at Naruto and tried to fight him. So yeah, that never happened. But Kakashi was still telling Sasuke that revenge isn't the best way to live, and he shouldn't just live for revenge. And that's when the sound, is it the sound 4? Curse 4? Sound, I think it's the sound 4. Yeah, I think this is sound 4. Then meet with Sasuke, and Sasuke is a little bit more reluctant to go this time. Just a tad bit more reluctant to go. Sasuke was a tad bit more reluctant to go, like I was saying, because he had, Naruto and Hinata with him, and they were all pretty good friends. And, if you know, you know. If not, you don't. And so he ended up declining. And at that point, that's when one of the Sound 4 ended up That's when one of the Sound 4 members ended up body flickering behind Sasuke and knocking him out, the chop in the neck. And here, Sasuke still had one kunai, only one kunai that had the shared formula between him and Naruto, and this made him happy because then that means that Naruto could go after him. And Naruto could feel, okay, so whenever Naruto's teleporting to something, he can feel it. Like, unlike where you had to try and focus, unlike the fourth Hokage where he had to try and focus on what he had just thrown, he can feel, he's able to detect what he is trying to teleport to, no matter if he sees it or not. So say he has a kunai on the other side of the world and somebody's playing around with it. He can feel that kunai and where it is and be able to teleport to it. So he feels the kunai that Sasuke has moving around, and he can tell that it's not his formula, but it's not Sasuke's either. So he knows it's a shared formula. So what he does is he tells the Hokage to make a team quick because they're going to end up teleporting to Sasuke. And then Tsunade was saying how. And so Naruto tells her that Sasuke has a shared formula that he and Naruto made for the Flying Thunder God. And she was saying, wait, you know the Flying Thunder God? He's like, oh, yes, whatever, I'll tell you later. First, now we need to get Sasuke. And she agrees. They have Might Guy, Kakashi, Shikamaru, Hinata, Naruto, and Neji. All there ready to fight, and Choji as well. And they all, so Naruto puts his hand on Might Guy and Kakashi, who's also linked up to the other people, and so Naruto teleports them all, and they all appear right next to the Sound 4 and Sasuke. And that's when everything starts to go down. Neji and Hinata equip the Byakugan. Lee's there as well. Lee opens his 4th gate. Guy opens the 5th gate. Naruto and Kakashi do the Sharingan, and basically the Sound 4 is just dead. Like, they're just dead. There's no way that they're gonna survive this, and they get absolutely obliterated by everyone. Absolutely obliterated. Choji never needed to use, his, his pills. That red pill that could have killed him. He never needed to use that, and they never even made it, the Sound 4 never even made it to where Kimamaru was, since Naruto just teleported there, and Naruto and them just teleported there and destroyed him. That fight between Kimamaru and stuff never happened, so Kimamaru never fought. He still ended up dying, but, he never fought. Sasuke was brought back to the village, and then they asked Sasuke why did he leave the village. Then Sasuke said, I didn't. They knocked me out and took me since I said I didn't want to go with them to Orochimaru's hideout. But what they ended up doing was, because they had to made it back I didn't mean they went back to the village. The people that went for Sasuke asked him, and he said that they knocked him out. And so they actually continued going along the path, and they saw Kabuto, who ended up pointing Sasuke towards the direction that Orochimaru's hideout was. Naruto was following behind him, and the other people were in the trees following them in the shadows. And they ended up making it to Orochimaru's hideout and ends up destroying the place. Orochimaru was asking why, and Sasuke said he never wanted to go, and he just tricked them. And so Orochimaru, got destroyed again. And yeah, that happened. So now they make their way back to the village. Orochimaru's hideout is gone. He's gone. All the people that work with him were gone. Kabuto wasn't able to make it there in time. Kimamaru didn't get to fight anybody. Sound 4 were gone. And yeah, all that happened. And after that, the 2-year time skip happens. I don't think I dropped episode 2 yet, so as for plot convenience, let's just say that during the 2-year time skip, Sasuke actually is able to learn Snake Sage from Anko, because let's just say that Anko knows it, even though she might not. And Naruto learns Toad Sage mode, and also has his summoning for Gamabunta, which will end up being Gamakichi later, around the 4th Great Ninja War. And what's his name? Sasuke has, I forgot that snake's name. I don't think anybody remembers his name, being completely honest. And yeah, Hinata though. Well, since I haven't dropped the 2nd episode, y'all haven't been able to comment down below. So let's just say Jiraiya, Tsunade, and Kakashi all meet up and ask Hinata about what she wants her summoning to be. Hinata tells them, trains them, and gets her summoning. But it's up to you guys which one they ended up getting for her. And so, yeah, that happens. Naruto, Hinata, and Sasuke also get, like, Hokage, Sannin level, Taijutsu skills, and whatnot. And yeah, basically, Also, let's say that Naruto learns the Rasen Shuriken and Hinata learns the Lightning Blade. Let's say she learns the Raikiri Blade along with Sasuke. Fully mastering the Raikiri Blade, having all chakra natures. She just learns the normal Raikiri Blade. Sasuke also learns the Kirin, and yeah, that happened. Also, yeah, that happened during the 2-year time skip. And so, yeah. Now again, over the 2-year training arc, Naruto has a fit change, and instead of his main orange, little snow coat looking thing, he's now wearing black, red, and white, mainly black and white. Okay, so white and black with some red, let's say that. And that's mainly because I really like the way that the black and red looks. And also during the 2-year training arc, Naruto, let's just say this because I feel like I'd like him to have normal skin. So what I'm gonna say is, over the 2-year training arc, Naruto figures out how he can make his skin look natural and not look like a snake, with the scales and stuff. Figures out how to do that. And he also ends up getting his Mangekyo Sharingan at the... I'm gonna give him... So, a couple weeks ago, I made up my own design for Mangekyo Sharingan, and I will end up posting that picture as a video after this one goes up, and that's gonna be the Sharingan that Naruto gets. That's what his Mangekyo Sharingan is gonna look. And let's just say, because he has the 10 tails, he doesn't need the Eternal Mangekyo Sharingan to be able to use his abilities a lot, and to be able to, have the... What's it called again? Oh, don't tell me. He doesn't need any of the Eternal Mangekyo for the perfect Susanoo. So, also during the 2-year time skip, he gets the Tenseigan, and so does Hinata, and he starts working on his Susanoo. He is able to have the rib cage, and sometimes is able to make a sword, or a scythe. He's able to make a scythe. And yeah, and if you're wondering why I'm buffing him so much, it's because you'll see. And basically, yeah, that happens. And he comes back after the 2-year time skip. And so, like in canon, after they end up coming back, or after that, well, during the whole 2-year time skip, I'm sorry for this. It doesn't sound as natural because my recording for this part up until the Gaara and Sasuke retrieval arc got deleted, so I'm having to re-say this, and I didn't have this scripted, so I'm probably gonna have to script the next and final part. Anyway, so Naruto gets his Sage mode. He masters Sage mode here. He already has his summoning. He basically masters every jutsu. He masters almost every jutsu that isn't something that has to do with earth and water. But he's mastered basically every lightning, fire, and water jutsu. Like Sasuke in the Like Sasuke in the original, he's able to have Inferno style put into some of his attacks. So he has the Inferno style Rasengan, the Inferno style Rasen Shuriken. Like Sasuke, he's able to put it on some of his weapons. And Naruto has his kunai, and he also learns how to use a sword. So he has taijutsu, ninjutsu, genjutsu, and kenjutsu. So basically, Naruto is overpowered. Let's say that Sasuke gets, Sasuke has I'm gonna give Sasuke the Oryx Chidori early, and sadly I can't give him Heavenly Hand Power because he doesn't have his Rinne Sharingan yet. Naruto also I'm gonna give him like a Jinchuriki mode, so he has the 10 Tails Chakra Cloak, and he has his True Seeker Orbs. He also has the Tensegon, as well as he Naruto has the Tensegon in one eye, but Naruto is able to have the Tensegon in both eyes, and he ends up using that instead of the Byakugan, since it does. Sometimes he ends up using it instead of the Byakugan because the Tensegon's better, and it has its own cloak. So he has a 10 Tails cloak. He has the Tensegon cloak, and yeah, that happened. I'm also gonna give him the Mangekyo Sharingan. I will put up a video that has I created my own Sharingan a couple weeks ago, and I'll put that up and show you what it looks like, and that's going to be the Sharingan I gave Naruto. And since Naruto has the 10 Tails, I'm going to say that he doesn't need the internal Mangekyo Sharingan. He doesn't. Okay. Since Naruto has the 10 Tails, I'm going to say that he doesn't need the Eternal Mangekyo Sharingan for the perfect Susanoo. And he can make a perfect Susanoo without his eye bleeding and going blind. I'm also going to make it to where, yeah, that's about it. That's about all that happened through the training, or at least that's all I'm going to say that happened for now. And so what I'm gonna do next is that's about it for this whole 2-year time skip, 2-year training arc, and yeah, she wasn't able to do anything about it. And so because of what has happened so far in the story, the Sasuke retrieval arc and the Gaara rescue mission never really happened. So those months were basically just spent training. For like the week and a half or 2 weeks that the Gaara rescue mission was happening, Naruto, Hinata, Kakashi, Sasuke, and the Sand siblings ended up building a friendship, since they still went over to the Sand Village at that point in time, just for a mission and whatnot. They ended up building a friendly relationship, and they also found out that Gaara had become the Kasakage. And as for the Sasuke retrieval, and as well during that time, what had happened was, what was his name? Deidara and Sasori tried to get Naruto. Since Naruto was the only one with a tailed beast, they actually ended up going after Naruto. And in this time, what happens is Deidara and Sasori are able to knock out or get close. They're able to start fighting Naruto, but Naruto defeats them with his Rasen Shuriken. Basically, you know the Super Circle dance hall that Minato has? Yeah, it's basically that, but instead of a Rasengan, instead of a normal Rasengan, it's a Magma Rasengan, since that's Naruto's, other than the Vanishing Rasengan, that's Naruto's favorite ability to use. So he does that, and he's able to get both Sasori and Deidara. Deidara isn't able to use his big explosion or whatever. Gaara isn't hurt. Garbachio doesn't even have that interaction with Sakura, or it would have been Hinata. Hinata also did start training in medical ninjutsu, since there isn't a medic on their team, and she's actually doing pretty well. pretty good with it. She's a natural at it. She's actually really good. And she is also able to learn how to put chakra in her fists, but she doesn't necessarily use that as often because she isn't able to do that. She's able to focus on doing the she's not at that point in time. She wasn't able to focus on doing her gentle fists as well as putting lightning and putting chakra in her hands for that strength. So she's only able to either put chakra to enhance the damage she does, or put lightning in it. She's also able to put other elements in her whenever she's fighting. So sometimes she would put fire and lightning, or water and lightning, and something like that, or fire and wind, depending on who she's fighting. And yeah, a ton of juices happen, and during that time, what ends up happening is, during the Sasuke retrieval arc, Orochimaru got revived again. That's the third time, because he got killed in the Force of Death, and then again with Hokage, and then again at the hideout. Yeah, this is his third time or fourth time reviving himself. And yeah, they end up finding his new hideout, and they're able to get him again, as well as get Kabuto. Since they won Kabuto last time, but he still went back to Orochimaru, so they brought him, went to jail. They also brought Orochimaru to jail, and they didn't kill him this time, because every single time they do, he gets brought back. So they have him in this maximum security prison in the Leaf Village. And yeah, that's how that happens. Asuma still dies. Shikamaru is still sad, and Naruto still says that he's gonna end up helping Shikamaru. So they still go over after Kakuzu and Hidan. While Kakuzu and Hidan are headed towards the village, Kakashi, Hinata, and Naruto all catch Kakuzu off guard, with Naruto doing his Super Circle Dance Howl Magma Rasengan thing, and getting Kamui lightning bladed, since Kakashi knows how to do that. And basically, that's actually going to be really helpful during the war against Obito. And yeah, Hinata really wasn't able to do anything because Kakashi and Naruto just destroyed him. But she was able to help knock out Hidan and carry him over, and help Shikamaru carry him over to the forest, where Shikamaru ends up killing Hidan. And yeah, that happens. And let's say that during this time, since Naruto wasn't ever at Mount Miyaboku during the pain attack, Jiraiya doesn't die in this one. Let's just say that he never got the intel about one of the Pains being his students. He never got that, so he was still at the Leaf Village. And whenever the attack that the Pain had, all of the paths of Pain were there, but Naruto was there, and he had his Sage Mode, and Jiraiya was there with his Sage Mode. Sasuke also knew Snake's Sage Mode, so yeah, 3 Sage Mode users against the Patch of Pain. They got obliterated. First, they went for the King of Hell Pain path, because if they didn't, then he, like in canon, he would keep on reviving them, the Nakura path. They were able to get the animal path and the human path, as well as the Diva path last. Naruto still stabbed himself with a chakra rod, and was able to find Nagato. And just to flex on how badly they destroyed him, how badly Naruto destroyed them, Naruto, Sasuke, and Hinata all destroyed them, he had a ton of kunai, and all with Sage Mode in him, like his Sage Mode strength, threw him towards where what's his name, Nagato was, and was just teleporting around, just gaining speed, and eventually, like, he was so fast that, like, he had this, like, white line behind it, like, whenever you're moving whenever, like, in anime, whenever somebody's moving so fast, there's, like, this trail, and, like, depending on what they're wearing, that's the color of it. Like, say you're wearing, like, in Naruto, whenever somebody, like, Madara is, like, running around with his, say whenever a Susanoo is flying, like, really fast, and it's just purple, or whatever color the Susanoo is. Yeah, basically that's what ended up happening with Naruto. And since he wears, like, black, mainly white and black, that's the color of the trail that was following him, and it was just going all the way over to Nagato. And by the time he made it there, he had a gigantic magma Rasen shuriken, because since fire heats up as more wind hits it, like how the majestic destroyer flame gets stronger the longer it's in air, the magma got stronger the faster and longer it was there. So a giant magma release Rasen shuriken, and as soon as Naruto teleported to the kunai that hit where Nagato's tree was, he slammed it in, and that whole half of that gigantic tree was melted. Like, it was gone. And Konan and Nagato saw this, and Konan asked Naruto if he was going to kill Nagato. Naruto said, "No, I'm not going to kill Nagato." And she was surprised. She and Nagato were both surprised that Naruto wasn't going to try and kill him. And so what ended up happening was Naruto still talking to Jutsu Nagato. Nagato revived everybody that had died. And let's just say Kakashi never died in this. Tsunade didn't. Did Tsunade die? Anyway, she didn't die either. And so everyone was brought back in this fight. And then that's whenever the Shinobi Alliance thing was made. Like, the calling and the gathering was made. And Sasuke and Sasuke and Naruto go there. Kakashi, Hinata, and Jiraiya stay to protect and rebuild the village. Well, those two go with Tsunade to the meeting. At this stage, Killer Bee wasn't captured by Kisame and whatnot, so Killer Bee actually went with the Raikage, so the Raikage never yelled at the Mizukage, and they were still talking about a war happening and whatnot. And so what ended up happening was it wasn't Sasuke wasn't there. Well, Sasuke was there, but he wasn't, like, an enemy there. But Tobi still went there and was saying that, or Obito still went there and was saying that he declares war and what time it's gonna happen, where and when. But he wasn't able to take Nagato's Rinnegan. What ended up happening was Sasuke got one of Nagato's Rinnegan and Kakashi got the other. Since Kakashi only has one Sharingan and the other one is a normal eye, he ended up getting the Rinnegan. And basically what Sasuke and Kakashi were doing, training before the war, was trying to turn on and off the Rinnegan, because they didn't want to just walk around with Rinnegan, and they were eventually able to do that. And so since they both have the Mangekyo and the Rinnegan, they didn't need the Eternal for the Perfect Susanoo. So Kakashi has the Perfect Susanoo, and, well, Sasuke would have had it already anyway. And they don't have the paths of pain power, but Sasuke has his Black Flames Universal Pull, and Kakashi has his Kamui Almighty Push, because I think that would be cool. Like Kamui, like he does, like, Almighty Push, but they get Kamui'd away after and then get destroyed. But something from Naruto Storm 4 where, like, I don't think this happens in Naruto Storm 4, like, the Kamui thing happens, but what would happen was Kakashi would do an Almighty Push, and after they're, like, blown, they take the damage and are blown back from it, they get sent to the Kamui dimension. And then Kakashi's Kamui is faster. He is able to Kamui as fast as he would if he had both of the Sharingan. And he Kamuis to the dimension, pulls out his perfect Susanoo, and is able to just run straight, is able to hit them with a giant lightning blade. And then they both are Kamui'd back to the real world. And like it's a Kamui lightning blade that he hits him with. And he still has his Kamui Shuriken, but I'm also gonna give him a Kamui sword, just for more close range fighting. And so, yeah, that happens. And so, and like the original, the little fight will still happen. And between them two, you have the little fight. Not the little fight, but like at the beginning, when Naruto is put away, since it's even worse now that Naruto has the 10 tails. So if that gets extracted, basically everybody's dead. Because as soon as that gets extracted, then the whole end of the Fourth Great Ninja War is happening. So he's sealed away even tighter than before with Killer Bee. And he still ends up escaping because Naruto's just different. He's built different in this What If. And so, yeah, he walks out. The same thing, the interaction between Iruka Sensei happens. And Naruto still pulls... What is it? Would it be JCM for Jubi Chakra mode? Isn't he already technically in that, though? Let's just give him a Chakra Cloak. Yeah, he's gonna get a Chakra Cloak. So basically, while training with Killer Bee, he gets a Chakra Cloak. No chosen one, but he gets a Chakra Cloak, and he has the Truth Seeker orbs. He's able to get all 8 of those Truth Seeking orbs. And so he pulls out the Chakra Cloak for the 10 tails to get out of the seal that he's put in, and throws a kunai behind him, runs, and fake acts like he's about to punch, was it Shino's dad? Like Shino's dad. But then as soon as the punch is about to hit Shino's dad in the face, he ends up teleporting to the kunai. And Killer Bee ends up going with Naruto, and Naruto, while running over there, he meets what's it called? The Raikage and Tsunade. Tsunade, like in canon, doesn't really help the Raikage because she believes in Naruto. The Raikage in canon, and the Raikage still tries to test Naruto in canon, and Naruto is even faster, and it's even more nostalgia for the Raikage because Naruto actually has the Flying Raijin. It's not just super speed. He actually has the Flying Raijin, and he teleports to it and does this. It makes the same face and the same motion that Minato did to the Raikage a couple years ago. And he's like, "You're definitely his son," and allows Killer Bee and Naruto to go past. And they still end up encountering the Zetsu. Naruto still knows that the Zetsu are, let's say Yamato and them still get captured, so the Zetsu are still stronger, or as strong as in canon, but Naruto still knew who the real Zetsu were and who the fake Zetsu were. And since he knew that, he was able to tell and was able to destroy those Zetsu. And since he has even more chakra than in canon, he ends up making a lot more shadow clones. So each group, normally, like, I don't remember how many he had in each group where he put the shadow clones, but in this one, there were 15 Narutos in each group. So they're being led by 15 Narutos that have the True Seeker orbs and the Chakra Cloak. No, just the Chakra Cloak, not the True Seeker orbs. And so they were able to get past real quickly, and the fight between the reincarnated Raikage went a bit different. Basically in that fight, Naruto just absolutely beat him. And now, as for the final stage of the Fourth Great Ninja War, where the actual war really happened, after Madara got warmed up, that place happened, and since Naruto fought the the Jinchuriki and the Tail Beast, and he was able to win against them a lot easier. Well, no, he never fought the Tail Beast since he had the 10 tails. So that fight between the Tail Beasts and their reincarnated Jinchurikis never really happened since their Jinchurikis, well, since they were never really Jinchurikis. And so that never happens, but Madara still ends up fighting Naruto and whatnot. And during this fight, Hinata ends up using her summoning. And depending on which you guys choose will be her summoning is what is going to end up happening. So, yeah, again, y'all choose in the second part and this part. And I hope you guys enjoy it. That was the end of part 3. What if Naruto had the 10 tails, half Hyuga, and half Uchiha. Bye.